Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of the Educator series. With me here, Preethi Sunallinii, your parenting coach and family therapist. With me here is Roopa Kiran, the founder of Absorbent Mind and a Montessori trainer. So, the last session in episode 2, we spoke about bringing Montessori home in the very early years, early childhood education. So what are the principles that helps to keep that curiosity, that spark alive in that young age? That is what we spoke about. Now today we're going to be going beyond those first 6 years into the elementary age. Now if you look at the Montessori planes of development, Montessori looks at the stages of development in four parts. The first part is the um, absorbent mind, the first 6 years of life, where the child is completely soaking in and absorbing everything that is there in the world. We spoke about how the child first has to understand what is in the world. So the first part of life is about what is this, what is that, what is this. So they're trying to understand their world. And in order to do that, Rupa gave us three specific things that Montessori takes in order to help children to absorb their environment. One is the learning through all of the senses. Second is value based learning. And the third is bringing in order. When there is order in the environment, automatically there is a structured learning that happens. Now that we have understood what it takes to bring that excitement, that curiosity for learning, and to maximize that sensitive period of the absorbent mind, now we want to move to the next stage, the next plane of development, which is the elementary stage, where we're talking about the reasoning mind. Now, most people around this age, around 6 years of age, tend to shift the child from the Montessori approach, Montessori school, to other streams of education. Most people assume that Montessori is for bachos, it's only for pre primary, it's only for that age, early childhood. But Montessori is way beyond that. Today, we're going to be talking about what does that mean to have Montessori for children beyond the age of 6. That is what we're going to be talking about today. So, the first question to you, Rupa, is
Namaste.
yes. So
Yeah.
the first question for you is what changes in the Montessori approach when it comes to the elementary years? How can we retain that curiosity? How can we bring in that enthusiasm for learning and maintain that for children beyond this particular age in the elementary years? Over to you.
Yeah. Yeah. As Preeti told, the absorbent mind plays a great deal in a child's life, where the child, so it is very, very important for us to work between the 0 and 6. This is the maximum development of maximum brain development happens in this period. So this is the absorbent mind stage, where this is the foundation for whatever they do in the future. For whatever they do in the future, this is like a foundation for the child. So whatever he's absorbed, whatever he's it comes back when he is applying it, or when he's trying to do. Now he is absorb everything at the age of by the age of 6. As I told, we have prepared environment. See, this is the in Montessori, this prepared environment plays a very, very important role in the child's development, where it is apt for the child to be independent, that freedom of speech and freedom of choice and all that, which make the child very independent and disciplined,
Hmm.
because the child is taking the responsibility of working on himself. Uh,
Hmm.
it, any subject, it can be math or whatever it can be. Now coming to the reasoning mind. After
Hmm.
by the age of 6, by 5-10, the child is ready. By 5-10, like it is so difficult in a pre-primary environment to hold them or do things and all that. They're all over the place. They're asking so many questions, and they want to be out in the environment, in the nature. And this is the child now. He wants to play, he wants to do things, he wants reasoning for everything. I'm breathing. Why am I breathing here? What is that?
Hmm.
Air is coming out. What is the air coming out? And why is this? Why is there wind? How does the rain come? Why are the clouds so different? You know, when it comes to this, it's very important for us. It becomes very difficult for a parent to answer every small question.
Mm.
So it is like so many questions at the time the child is asking, because he's out there, he want to experience whatever he's absorbed till date. Why is the ice cold?
Mm.
Why is it hot? Why it is hot today? Why
Mm.
it is raining suddenly? And why weather has become like this? No. So this is how the elementary child is. So this is how the elementary child is. Now coming to, if I take the subjects like, first, usually in elementary, to open up the curiosity, as Preeti says, and how to retain it. So here we have something called great stories. So initially we start with Big Bang. So usually in conventional school, the Big Bang is given somewhere in middle school or high school. It's given, but here in elementary, in Montessori, we give this at the age of 6. When they come to grade 1, first, like by June, July, uh, end of July or by August, this is the time we give the grade story, first grade story we give, where
Mm.
this opens up. Once we do the Big Bang story, this opens up to a lot of content matter. Now, if it is Big Bang opens up to history, where history is study of the past.
Mm.
Then it goes up to geography. Geography is all study of the soil, the continent, and the formation of the earth, the formation of the sun and the universe and the solar system, how it came. This is what the child wants to know. He is very, very curious now. Then it opens up to the kinds of gases. Now the sun is here. So what is sun made out of? Sun is made out of helium and hydrogen gases and a lot of other gases which comes in. So this is how it comes. Then we are in the nature. Now botany comes, chemistry, physics comes in. Like earth is formed. How did the earth come together as one? And what is it making the sun and all the other planets there rotate in the same orbit there?
Mm.
Going on. So this is like magnetism comes in and a lot of things comes in like this.
Mm.
Then comes the botany and zoology.
Mm.
This is very, very interesting because children are very, very curious. Anything we speak about zoology, say arthropoda or mollusca. So we start with known to unknown. Known to unknown is what? The child is in the environment, he is seeing ant, seeing spiders, he's seeing lizards, he's seeing animals like dogs, cows, these animals. So
Mm.
we take zoology. Zoology is all about learning about animals. Now we start with arthropoda. What is arthropoda? Arthropoda is nothing but ant. It is spider.
Mm.
These things. So then going on to the next bigger animals like mammals and other things we do. Then next comes botany. Botany is all about nature. They love roaming in the nature. We
Mm.
usually take children every, like it depends. Like if there is some lesson, like they went on a nature walk the other day
Mm.
because we did a lesson on leaves.
Mm.
It's like, kinds of it is not like just leaves. These are leaves. These are leaves. Yeah, there are varieties of leaves. Do you know
Mm.
even bougainvillea is a modified leaf? That color is not the flower. The inside, the white thing is a flower. See, these kind of interesting facts in the nature, it's so beautiful. And the grass that is grown, that is called blade. And
Mm.
veins in it, and the types of roots, and what is that we are eating.
Mm.
So this is how it goes. And botany is all about that. And then comes math, arithmetic, and all. As you know, in the previous session, we had spoken about arithmetic, how we use the dynamic material initially. We start with unit, tens, hundreds, and thousands. Like, how is that? Because in conventional schools, you give 1 to 50, 1 to 10, 1 to 500, and suddenly, boom, it goes.
Mm.
Then you
Mm.
don't know where the child is at. Children who learn, they learn. The rest are like, they don't know which number to write where or whatever it is. There's a lot of confusion. Here, what happens is because it's so much, it's there, it's hands on, they're counting 1 to 10, then going on to 10, 20, and all. we have material called secant board to do 110 and 1 is 11, 210 and 1 is 21, something like that. So everything is practically done. Then comes 100, 200, 300, 400. It goes like that. And that also has the material, a lot of
Mm,
materials where the child works with.
mm,
Now, by the end of M3, at the age of 6, a Montessori child will be doing all four operations, and the child will be able to read up to thousands. Though they take slow time and all that, it's okay. The child need not read 5,621 immediately. Not required. Not required. The
mm,
child knows. The child will take their own time, they think and they read and all that. Some are fast, some are slow. As I told, there are learning difficulties, or it can be learning whatever parameters that the child has its own pace of learning. So that we
mm.
allow the child to do. It's absolutely fine for us. Why
Okay.
are why are we doing this in pre-primary? Why are we teaching up to thousands in pre-primary? What is it that? Because when the child comes to the reasoning mind here in elementary, I want to teach my child 4 million,
Mm,
4.2 million years ago. The Big Bang happened then.
mm,
So that is the way we are linking from pre-primary to elementary. Why is reading so important? Previously, we spoke about the areas of work like EPL, sensorial, and all that. So, why is language so important? Why is reasoning so important
mm,
for us? Like logically analyzing and comprehending, because through stories, everything happens through stories. You can even build a story on your own. Parents are walking on the in the park, make up a story. No, there is a bird, there is a I do know you're very busy, but still you need to give time. You have
mm,
to give time for your child. There is no excuse for that. That is very, very important. I really feel that is very, very important. Both places, in school and at home, both places have to come together to raise. Earlier, they used to tell, we need a village to raise a child. And it is true. It is true. We need that much, because always mother is there, it is saturating, it is draining. Always father is there. So all of us have to come together. The school has to come, and similarly the home has to play, parents have to play a similar part to help the child develop or grow independently and become thoughtful people. This is what it is about. So as I told, this is the link with the math and the language, where we need lot of language, because children are capable of speaking well. It is not that we should never underestimate the child's learning and the capacity. Now, because all of us around us, we are speaking in English, all parents are speaking in English and grandparents are speaking in English and all that, all subjects are there in English. So we speak in English, and the comprehension and the composition and the comprehension is done in English. It can be in Kannada, it can be in Hindi also. English itself is not intelligence. Other subjects also, you can be intelligence in other subjects. Because I would like to say, because I had a child who was in, last time, I don't know, I said this or no. This child did really well in Canada. He was in grade 6
mm,
rather than him. So I used to tell the parents, like, why don't you just work on this Kannada, so that he can become a Pandit, he can become masters in Kannada. Isn't it? It's also a degree. It's a double degree. It's a triple degree. He can be doctorate in Kannada. He can be doctorate in Hindi. He can be doctorate in Kannada. This is what I used to tell the parent. You need to work around the strength of the child. Here, the reasoning mind, the child starts opening up now, showing you, I am interested in this. How is he showing? Now he knows to speak. He is reasoning. Why are you wearing a glass? Oh, is this so? So I think I should study about the eyes.
wow.
So yeah, exactly. This is how they speak now. This is how they speak now, and they try to imitate the adult at the at the same time. So giving exposure to the child is very important. Like we take them to planetarium, we speak about big people. We speak about the great people who discovered things, and the scientists, and who have done the inventions, and what did they go through, and what happened, and all that
Mm.
we do. And this is how it is in the reasoning mind, in the reasoning phases. All this in absorbent, during the absorbent mind, whatever has happened, that supports the reasoning. You want to
Got
say
that.
something?
Got that. Yeah, yeah. So I think so far what you've said, that it's a lot, but it's also very beautifully. I can see how each one of this is building on the previous stage, right? So if I can summarize and string together all that you have shared so far, in pre-primary, in early childhood, what we're doing with EPL, sensorial, arithmetic, culture, language, these five languages that we spoke about, is basically setting the foundation for them to go to the next stage.
Next level, yes.
So pretty much all of life can be summarized in this, in these five things, right? EPL pretty much covers your kitchen work, your homework. By homework, I don't mean writing while a homework, like
Household
household.
chores.
Yes, right. Household work, what it takes to live, buttoning your shirt and tying your lace and all of those things. Then you have sensorial, where you're talking about different kinds of textures, which also talks about different kinds of substances, materials, and all of those things, which is kind of like a prelude to science in a certain sense. Then there is arithmetic, which is the foundation for mathematics, culture, language, which language of course is the basis for all kinds of studying, and culture is kind of setting the tone for history in a certain sense, to understand the world, the what of the world.
Free geography, yes, and all
Yes,
elementary
absolutely. So
aspects.
once that this foundation is set, the next stage we are directly jumping into Big Bang theory. That is something that I definitely find fascinating, right? So I for one, I think when I must have heard of the Big Bang theory, I must have been in seventh or eighth standard, if I'm not wrong, right? It's really long back. So to start at first standard for a 6 year old, you introduce Big Bang theory, because that is where everything originates. And when you start, that is the great story.
That is
And
the story of the
learning comes
universe.
best
Yeah.
through stories. Who doesn't love stories? Especially, children in
Yes.
that age are very much in tune with stories. They love listening to stories. So the great story is unraveled, and from there comes all the different subjects, because it happened so long back, it's history, and that is what
Yes.
gave birth to all of these planets and the entire space and all of that. So
Yes.
that is geography. Then okay, all of these planets came out of
Angels.
it, all of these gases came out of it. That is where chemistry comes in. From there, life forms began. That is where botany and zoology came in. Then what is keeping all of these planets floating without bumping into each other? So that is where magnetism and electricity and
Yes.
gravity and all of that, physics comes in. Then studying math up to 4.2 million years ago, for them to understand what that 4.2 million years is, the reason you start off
Have you? Have you?
expanding
Yeah.
the
Have you
vocabulary.
held a million cube?
Actually, no, I don't know. In fact, when you were telling, I was trying to remember how many zeros in a million.
Yeah. So, yes, we have a million cube also in a school, in our school.
Yeah, yeah,
There
yeah, I
are
remember that.
cube. It's so beautifully.
Yeah. Hmm. Right. So so far, I think we've covered one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, and language, which is eight, eight subjects. But I
Yes.
remember, before the call, you were talking about 13 subjects. So what are the
See,
other
we
subjects?
do languages at the same time. See, there's no concept of first language, second language, third language, like unlike the
Ah,
conventional
okay.
school. All languages are respectfully taught in the similar manner until
Got
and
it.
unless. See,
Three
every time I
languages.
say the other part also is because many parents here, multiple groups of parents will be listening. So because of that, I want to mention this.
Hmm.
The child doesn't find it difficult to do Kannada or Hindi or some subject. So we take little more time so that the child focuses on English, then take the other subjects, other languages little later. That's all. Otherwise, all the children, they do, and they're doing it fine. There is no concept of first language. Second language means I should learn two sentences. Third language means I should
Mm.
learn only one word in the where the rest is there.
Got that, got that. So
Like, uh,
we have three languages: history,
yeah.
geography,
No, no, no. Languages is Hindi, Kannada,
chemistry,
and English. Languages.
language. Correct. So three languages:
Three
history,
languages.
geography, chemistry, botany, zoology, physics, math. That is
Uh,
still 10.
Now
We
what
have three.
happens? Yes, what happens is now we have as a spoken language we have Sanskrit, because everything originated from Sanskrit. So we it depends on each school. It depends on
Got
each school. If they are
that.
willing.
Okay.
Yeah, we have spoken language as Sanskrit, and our children really speak well in Sanskrit with the
Mm,
teachers and all that. Though it is difficult for me yet to speak with them, but they understand. They speak in Sanskrit.
mm,
Then we have one foreign language. As
mm.
of now, though, we are doing Spanish. Parents are requesting for German and other languages according to the thing. But as of now, we have that.
Got it.
So
Got
this
it.
is how
Got
it
it.
is. The capacity of the child is vast, and it's not. There's no pressure of
Absolutely.
learning.
Yes, yes, yes. And what I also found really interesting was that all of the learning happens in a particular sequence and it specifically goes from known to unknown. That is where the learning through stories makes it even more interesting because first they're able to relate with the things that they know, that they're familiar with. And it is
Exactly.
with that curiosity that you pull them into the unknown.
Exactly.
Perhaps species that they've not seen in real life, or molecules and atoms is not something that you can see with the naked eye. Those kind of things. So that I thought was really, really fascinating. Yes. The next question for you, Rupa, is a lot of people, I think this will pretty much would have ideally answered, but just in case, to be sure, uh, a common question that many parents have is that if I let my child continue in Montessori, let's say till second standard, third standard, fifth standard, even till eighth standard, at some point in time, for some reason, if I have to shift my child to a regular school or to a mainstream school, then how will they be able to cope? Is wouldn't that be too much of a difference? How would you respond to that?
See, now as we grow, uh, you know, we develop that kind of maturity towards
Mm,
adapting, towards learning, and whatever. Now, at the age of 12, the child knows everything, and this kind of vast learning, what we have done, it's
mm,
easy for the child to do high school.
mm,
I don't think so. It is tough because so much the child knows. Under science, there is botany, zoology, chemistry, physics. They know in grade two.
mm,
What are the sub subjects? The division in science. They know. They
mm,
know history, geography, everything. They are knowing it. But what
mm,
happens is in conventional, they have this book system and they have one chapter, two chapter, three chapter, where there is lot. They have mixed everything in one chapter, where there is no in-depth study is not happening. The child is supposed to do the study on their own. But how
mm,
many of them have time to study in depth? But here, what happens is, if I give Big Bang, say the story of the universe, if I'm giving, we are literally diving into it. For 3 years, we do this to form a
mm,
whole. For 3 years, we are talking about now the periodic table. Now, grade one can speak about helium and hydrogen. They know what is helium, they know what is hydrogen, they know what is oxygen. We are breathing oxygen, we are breathing out carbon dioxide. Who is breathing? And the photosynthesis they'll be knowing by the end of
mm,
grade one. This is the way it is. It is natural. It's a natural process. We are
mm,
keeping a plant, the plant is growing daily. Then how does
mm,
that grow? You are also growing, it is also growing. What is
mm,
that we are feeding the plant? What is that we are fed on? What are we? What's your mother feeding you? What are you
mm,
eating to grow? These are the things, on a regular basis we discuss.
mm,
It's kind of a discussion, sitting and working on it. Last week I was sitting with grade two children doing comprehension on the novel which we had chosen. For grade two, we have this Ruskin Bond, one small novel we have, where they usually in a year they do three novels. So in that way, I was speaking. Then I asked them, "What is your perspective on the author's, say?"
Mm.
Then few they could tell. Oh, I think this means what is we you want us to tell what we know about the story.
Mm.
This was the children's response. And again,
Mm.
they asked me, what is perspective?
Mm.
Then I told, why don't you discover? Take out the dictionary. So
Mm.
then, from grade one, even in M3, we encourage dictionary work where we help them. Children who are able to do. We help them look into small words in the dictionary. Say only in first page or second page or something. But from grade one, it is compulsory. Everybody dives into the dictionary.
Mm.
Anything in a sheet or any material they are working in, any book they are reading, if they don't know the word, they just go to the dictionary. That is
Mm.
the practice we are trying to make.
Mm.
And we introduce newspaper. Why is the newspaper? I know many children cannot read, or many children find it difficult to do it, or some are interested, some are, all this is there. But being there with them regularly, they get imbibed, they get used
Mm.
to it. Initially, it might look like that, but over the period of 3 months, you see, outside they'll be reading. There was some incident in the newspaper which father was reluctant to tell this child. Then
Mm.
he is like, I read in the newspaper, the heading is saying something like this. What happened?
Mm.
Because the father did not want to address that. But the child is,
Mm.
because it's in the newspaper. See, this introduction to this, they explore, they start,
World.
it's like a gateway to, we are opening up a little
Mm.
bit. The child will dive in. There are
Mm.
challenges, that's a different thing that we need to deal differently with each child will have something or the other, each child will have challenges. It can be emotional, it can be, anything it can be. That is a different scenario. I'm talking only about how the structure works and how it needs to be done. That's why reading is very very important. Then reading newspapers, I know, like, now we are all technologically bound, but still
Mm.
I don't encourage to give tablets or mobiles or computers. But still, for some time, they can use computer, laptop, or whatever.
Mm.
Like, you need to monitor. Parents will have to monitor,
Mm.
and they can read some news or newspaper or something. You don't know from where what will pop up. Now the technology is such, it's very difficult to monitor also. So that is how it goes. So it's better practically what is there in and around. Everyday newspaper is there. Your parents are buying newspapers and all that because they're still there. They don't want to shift. So it is good. So let the child develop that and narrate stories.
Right.
Narrate stories. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for this. As we're coming pretty much to the end, this has been quite a deep conversation we've had, right? And I think one of the strongest differences that I'm seeing, not a difference in a sense, more like a progression in the approach for Montessori education or Montessori approach for early childhood versus the elementary age group is definitely awareness is going deeper and deeper. And pretty much all of the curriculum, whether it is in early childhood or in the elementary stage of the child's development, everything seems to be revolving around how to live in this world and to understand the world. It's very much taking a systematic and a pragmatic approach to understand what is happening in the world, why things are the way they are in the world, before the child can understand how to contribute into this world. And that is where the specialist and the humanist stage will come. Of course, we will cover it in another day. But suffice to say, so far, what we have seen is that the more we give them exposure at an earlier age, exposure is one of the things also that seems to be quite
The
a
right approach.
strong.
Exposure, sorry, the right exposure.
Yeah, right
Uh,
exposure. Absolutely. Right exposure as in what is relevant for the child to understand the world, right? So whether it is having a hands-on experience of when you're I, for one, when I had to study chlorophyll and photosynthesis and stuff, it was all in a book. And it never occurred to
Supposed
me,
to
yeah, it never occurred to me to
observe.
go out and observe that out there in the nature, right? So giving them exposure by taking them on field trips to parks, and like you said, you want to take them when you're talking about history, and help them study the world that they live in, which is Karnataka, Bangalore. Take them to palaces and forts, and talking about where you're living, the lifestyle, the
Yes.
culture, the language, and connecting it to their everyday life. That is what creates the curriculum. It is not a fixed sort of a curriculum that says, okay, by this time, okay, ye lesson khatam karo, then ye karo, ye karo. More than that, it is going more from what the child needs at each stage in order to survive and live in that world. And that is what we are looking at when it comes to the Montessori approach. Did I sum that up well?
Yes,
Is there
yes,
anything
yes.
else you'd like to add?
Yeah. Very, very, very well.
Thank you.
The audience would
Fantastic.
be
Thank you so much for those of you who've been watching this far as well. It's definitely a gripping conversation, a lot of insights that are coming up. Rupa is, of course, a never ending treasure, of nuggets to
so much.
understand childhood,
Very,
understand child development, child rearing. So when we look at child development, it's not only in the context of education, schooling, degree, job, but to understand humanity, understand humans. How do they become a personality? There is so much that we can unearth over here. So stay tuned with us, come back and be with us on Monday, and we will see you then. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good day, have a good weekend. Thank you, Rupa. Thank you so much for joining
thank you,
us.
Preeti. Namaste. Namaste.